Hello everyone, for this tutorial video, I would like to explain what the formula for a power series is, and how it is centered around a specific value unlike the other series. The formula for a power series centered around x equals a is the infinite sum starting at n equals 0 of coefficients subscript n times x minus a to the power of n. So it is called a power series because you are raising one of the factors to a power of n. However, if we cannot get it in this form somehow, then it will never be a power series because this is the exact definition of it. We see from what we know about how absolute convergence works. It follows if the absolute value of x minus a is less than r, the series will diverge, and if the absolute value is greater than r, the series will converge. We choose r as our arbitrary value because we call this the radius of convergence, as a reference to the fact that the series generally converges between two specific values, which can be thought of as a similar concept to the radius of a circle. When we remove the absolute values, every input of x that satisfies the convergence is said to be in the interval of convergence. So what we do for convergence is first remove the absolute value bars, then see x minus a must be less than r, or greater than negative r, because of what absolute value refers to. So we see, because of how this is laid out, x must satisfy both of these at the same time, or be in between these 2 points. Lastly, we get x by itself in the inequality by adding a to everything. So in conclusion, if x is in between a minus the radius or a plus the radius, for the arbitrary point a we pick, then it should follow that x is in the interval of convergence. So now, if we choose x equals a exactly, we get a minus a equals 0 that we are raising to the power of n. And we next break up the sum into partial sums. So we evaluate n equals 0, which is coefficient of 0 times 0 raised to the power of 0, plus the infinite sum starting at n equals 1, because we calculated n equals 0 individually and added that to the rest of the series. We see, strangely enough, that the coefficient of 0 raised to the 0th power is the coefficient of 0 times 1, even though 0 to the 0th power normally does not give us a valid answer. Now we do coefficient of n, and the sum times 0 raised to the power of n is simply 0 because no matter how many times we add 0, we get 0. And the same thing is true for how many times we multiply 0. So the infinite sum of 0 is still 0. In conclusion, we no longer have sums. We have coefficient of 0 plus 0, which simplifies to a coefficient of 0. In conclusion, the power series around x equals a exactly is simply the coefficient of the 0th term, and nothing more. Now that we have figured out what power series are and how they work, we can determine power series of specific functions, like we did with the example earlier, as x equals a. Don't forget to subscribe if you found this video informative, and make sure to see other tutorial videos, and follow me on either Facebook or Twitter for more content.